All right. If you're watching this, jump on in. We're live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. So climb on in and let's have some fun, even if we are talking about a topic that maybe we would rather not. So I'm Josh Johnson. We are live. Let's turn on the light there. There we go. Now we're rocking and rolling. So we have a risk of severe weather around the state coming in here tomorrow in the morning. Then there's a shot of cold air coming out at the middle of the month that, and I've been posting about this and saying it on television over and over. If you plant your garden, you are going to regret it, I'm afraid. So please, please, please don't plant anything yet. There's a lot of evidence out there for a big old shot of cold air out at the middle of the month. And we'll get there momentarily. If you could, share this video. We want to reach as many folks as we can and get them some good, reputable, reliable weather information. We want to talk it all through, you know what I mean? Just talk it all through. That's really 90% of my job, is just sort of talking us all through these sorts of days and nights and all sort of wild, weird things that we get up around here. So we'll hop in on that. We're going to go hour by hour through this whole scenario here momentarily with the latest data we have from the high-res rapid refresh model. So with no further ado, let's talk about the here and the now. So radar right now showing you light sprinkles and showers around Prattville and Millbrook. It's raining harder down in South Alabama. Red Level, River Falls, Brantley, Laverne, Troy, Brundage, Newton, Midland City, Headland, Abbeville, Eufaula, all getting a decent shower. Back into West Alabama, raining at a good clip there as well. Scattered showers now out around Marion Junction in Dallas County. Southern Perry County, eastern Marengo County, getting wet now as well. Then you've got this mess to the west, and I do mean mess. Let me show you. It is breaking loose in Texas right now, friends. They've got a couple of different things going. You've got the really terrible squall line approaching the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. We're talking wind speeds 40, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour in that. Then you've got tornado-warned storms out here ahead of all of this, back into parts of northeastern. Look at that. Whew. Look at the hook echo on that thing. This would be near Atlanta, Texas, not Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty wild, yeah. Strong rotation there. So you're probably looking at a developing tornado south of Texarkana. And the tornado ingredients, quite frankly, are really maximized out there today. This is going to be a really, really tough day for a lot of our friends and colleagues out to the west in Texas, parts of Louisiana. So, did someone just call me Rick? Thanks, Rick. I've been called worse four-letter words. Been called better. All right, so let's dive into the hour by hour here. So watch with me. This is essentially now. Scattered showers, southern third of the state, nothing severe, one or two downpours, that's about it. Okay, so then tonight into the pre-dawn hours Friday morning, same thing, scattered showers, so far so good. None of this is anything that would really be dangerous. This is all, again, still sort of in that nuisance level of rain fall across the state. Then here comes this line of storms arriving in West Alabama sometime 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Then it will move east. There's a lot of evidence in the model data now that what we may see is the initial line die out and then a second line begin to strengthen a little bit out ahead of it. That actually would be good news, because one of the things we're watching here is the chance that the storms will outrun the environment, meaning that the thunderstorms will get out ahead of the main environment capable of producing tornadoes. This would be a good thing for us. Rick says she was talking about me. That's Ricky. Ricky, what's up, my man? Good to see Ricky in the house today. So then by 10, 11, noon, this makes it into Montgomery. Again, this is all Friday morning. And then by Friday at about 2 o'clock at the latest, this is all gone. Now, within this, there are some real question marks here about how this is going to unfold. The million-dollar question is, do we have strong enough thunderstorms that develop in the wrong spot at the wrong time? If we do, there are ingredients in place that could create tornadoes. So there is a risk of tornadoes in the state tomorrow. You need to understand that and respect that and prepare accordingly. It's what we call in the weather business a conditional risk, meaning, again, if we get those storms, yes, we could have tornadoes. But it may just be wind and rain. And that's another part of this that we need to kind of break down for you in a moment, which we will do. For 99% of you, it's just going to be a really windy Friday. There will be about 30 minutes to an hour's worth of heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. And that's it. So Kristen's just jumping in. The timing on this, again, is tomorrow morning. And I will go county by county. I'll show you the county timing map that everyone, or the chart really. It's not really a map. Maps, people struggle with maps, so we've started using a chart more that we think you'll like. And here it is. So there you see it. Again, know what you're looking at. This is a window. The times that you see here are windows. It will not storm this entire 3-hour window. What you'll have will be storms that last about 30 minutes at some point within that 3-hour window. But again, because of the fast forward motion here, the storms will last no more than about 30 to 45 minutes in any one given location. So again, there's the timing on this. If you want this map, by the way, you can get it at WSFA.com. It's available for you there. So we'll split screen this now. This is one of the nastier storms you'll ever see out here in southeastern Oklahoma, near Fort Towson, Oklahoma, west of Broken Bow. That's a hail producer for the ages. I bet they've got baseball-sized hail falling out of that thing. It's also rotating, which has prompted that tornado warning out there. There will be more tornado warnings that get going out in that part of the state today. So just buckle up to the west. The ingredients will diminish as this moves into Alabama, and in all likelihood, this will not be a tornado outbreak in our state. This would be a few tornado kind of setup. But January 12th was a few tornadoes kind of setup. And we had a EF3 tornado that killed 7 people. So I would just caution you, don't get too wound up about the threat levels. Let us worry about that. You just do what you need to do. And what you need to do is multiple reliable ways of weather warnings. Know ahead of time where you'll go if you're placed under a tornado watch or warning. If you live in a mobile home, plan to get out of it earlier than you might want. That's it. That's really the message. Okay, another thing we need to talk about. Look at this, guys. Fans of winter. Boy, do I have some news for you. This is the European Ensemble computer model output. And man, oh man, if you planted that garden, you are going to be a sad puppy. So it's warm for about the next week. Now through next Thursday, it's warm. It's a little less warm this weekend, the nights especially. It'll be chilly at night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. But then 70s for highs, 60s for lows, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But then look out here around March 11th and March 12th. This always happens, and everyone acts like it's some surprise. It shouldn't be. You should know about this by now, but the European Ensemble here suggesting highs in the 50s for 5 straight days with some frost possibilities by March 12th, March 13th, and March 14th. And I would again caution you, this is an ensemble which tends to blend out extreme ideas. So what I'm telling you is there is a real chance here that it could even be colder than what you see here. It could be, we could have another freeze scenario. So it will turn colder again sometime between March 10th and March 20th. So just be prepared for that winter is not over. It's never over. This happens almost every year. There's almost always a shot of cold air in March or even early April. We have had a massive snowstorm on March the 12th and 13th. It happened in 1993. We had half a foot of snow on April 3rd, 1987 in central Alabama. Clanton, Maplesville, places like that got a lot of snow that day in April. So it can happen, I promise. So don't plant your gardens yet. Wait until, I would say, April 15th is totally safe. April the 10th is usually pretty good. April the 5th is probably okay. But it definitely needs to be probably the end of the first week of April or later is my best advice. 99 out of 100 years, you'd be fine if you do it that way. Any questions? Chime in with those. We've got WSFA 12 News at 6, which starts in about 10 minutes. So I'll hang out here with you. We'll answer questions if you have any. We'll talk about we'll pop up a few maps along the way as well. There's the timing map that we talk about a lot. Again, when you look at this, it won't rain and storm that entire 3-hour window. This would be about 30 to 45 minutes worth of rain and wind, sometime within that window. That was Philip Meadows' birthday. How about that? Okay, let me show you this too. We need to talk about this. It will be super windy tomorrow, even away from thunderstorms, guys. Check this out. So we're talking even late tonight, it gets very windy. And through the day tomorrow, look at this. Some of these wind speeds here, 30, 35, 40 miles per hour throughout the day tomorrow. So it will be a very blustery day, even if there are no storms. Check this out. Again, this is valid tomorrow at noon, and you've got pretty widespread tropical storm force wind gusts around the state. So please understand there could be power outages and trees down in isolated pockets far away from thunderstorms. So, Elizabeth, I hope that answers your question. Now, when you look at this, you have to understand this is the model's idea of wind gust 30 feet above the ground. So subtract about 5 to 10% from what you see here. But even doing that, even accounting for that, you're still up there around 35, 40 miles per hour area-wide tomorrow. So it is super windy. Starting tonight, it will become windier. And then tomorrow, that wind really cranks up. So just secure loose things around your home. If you have a pool floats, patio furniture, grill covers, things like that. Get those things secured because it is going to be super windy around here. So three main takeaways here. It's very windy tonight and tomorrow. There's a line of storms tomorrow morning with a low-end risk of damaging wind gusts and tornadoes. And then there's growing evidence of a shot of cold air at the middle of the month, March 10th to 20th. Lee asking about the tree falling risk. So that is a really impossible question to answer. And I don't like to dodge any question, but the problem with that question is I don't know what kind of trees do you have? Are they healthy? Are they diseased, these trees? Have they been cut lately? Those sorts of questions. And those are answers we just don't have yet. And I can't answer them. I can tell you, if you've got a diseased tree limb or a weak tree limb somewhere, it could fall because of the wind tomorrow. And that's out away from thunderstorms. That's really most of the day. So that's the story there. There could be falling tree limbs is the long answer to a short question. People asking about maps and the setup here. This is the Storm Prediction Center outlook. They've got a level 2 risk from Greenville to Troy and points north. They call it slight. We call it low. So that's what they're seeing. The highest risk, by the way, I think this could be a really big problem day from Nashville up to Bowling Green and up into Kentucky. So if you have family or friends up there, they'll need to be weather aware. All right. Leo asked about CAPE values. CAPE is the convective available potential energy. It's one of the ingredients that we look at when we're assessing a severe weather threat. So here's the CAPE on this whole thing. I think there will be some juice in the atmosphere tomorrow, especially east of 65, mainly because of time of day. You get around 10, 11, 1 in the afternoon, and you get some CAPE values up there around 1,000 to 2,000. But you'll notice here, your wind fields are extremely strong, but they are mainly unidirectional. So you have a ton of shear, but a lot of it is speed shear. You don't have as much directional shear. You do not have a ton of cold air aloft to sustain storm updrafts. And with all that shear and not a lot of cold air aloft, I suspect most of these storms will be sheared to pieces. The issue will be if you get one storm that can really bust through and stay strong, it will spin like a top and probably produce a tornado. So that's where these are tricky. Most of them won't do that. Most of them will get sheared to pieces. But one or two, if we get wrong storm, wrong place, wrong time, you could have a problem. What was Pam's question, Dana? Let me scroll. Pam, looking for Pam. Dear sweet Pam. I don't see a question from Pam. What does the green mean in that map? The green is a marginal risk. That's we call it very low. They call it marginal. And that it goes all the way down to the state. So it's really important that you understand the message here. There is a threat of severe weather for the entire state tomorrow. It will be on the low end of the spectrum, but I don't like to even use that word anymore. And yes, you should secure the state bird. Trampolines, they will go flying. Will school be delayed? Probably not. I doubt it. I don't know that this rises to that level, but we'll see. We've been surprised before. I suspect we will start school on time tomorrow, but predicting school closures is harder than predicting the weather. So yeah, by the way, a little pro tip on the trampoline thing. If you cannot secure it, if you don't have the little anchor, find a sandbag, or what I do with mine, we have a saltwater swimming pool, and those big 40-pound bags of salt, I stack those on the legs. So work smarter, not harder, right? You can do that. Anything heavy on the legs would help. And if all of that fails, flip the thing upside down. Flip it upside down. It will almost certainly not go flying. All right, everybody. I'm preparing for WSFA 12 News at 6. It begins in 4 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this thing up, and we'll talk more about all these storms on TV. If you're near a TV, we'd love for you to join us. Linda asked about what time do we expect the storms in the morning. We will close with this graphic. Linda, there will be about 30 minutes worth of storms at some point in the 3-hour window you see listed for your county. It will not storm the entire time that you see on the screen. It will be about 30 minutes that will occur sometime in the time frame you see on the screen. So there you have it. All right, everybody, I appreciate you watching. If you want that map, it's at WSFA.com. Click on the weather option at the top of the screen, and you can go into the weather story and read all about this and get that updated map. I'll be watching the weather all night tonight, and we'll be here tomorrow through the day as well, keeping you ahead of whatever happens. So overall, again, there is a risk of severe weather tomorrow morning. It's on the low end, but low doesn't mean no, so please take it seriously. Prepare accordingly. Have those multiple reliable ways of getting weather warnings, and you'll be just fine. It turns cooler for the weekend. There's more rain in the middle of next week. At this point, that doesn't look like a big severe weather setup. Then it turns sharply colder out at the end of next week. So we're talking middle of the month, March 10th to 20th. Big shot of cold air. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on Facebook and on YouTube. Appreciate it as always.